let's go ahead and start. It's just the first homework problem. As you can see, you now have 3 equations, and many of them have 3 variables. That's a step up to date. The nice thing is that with all these, the first step is actually to eliminate a variable from the first 2 equations, eliminate the same variable in the second 2 equations, right? And then you end up with 2 equations with 2 variables. A problem just like last night. So that's the first step, is really just to make it into a problem that you did last night. And the rest of it will kind of take care of itself. Now 9 and 10 are a little more just straightforward. You can probably logically simplify and solve them. So let's try number 9. So is there a problem, one of these, that you can solve quickly?
3z equals 21.
Yeah, 3z equals 21. So you can probably take that. Right? And now you have z is equal to the 7. First answer. Pretty straightforward. Can you plug that into any of the other equations?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you plug it in the one that you can plug it into. We'll take that. You know, z is equal to 7, so we'll plug it in. So that's what I mean, like on these, you don't really need any direction or, you know, how do I do this? It's kind of self-explanatory. Solve the easiest one you can. You can only plug that answer into one other equation, so you kind of have to do that. Solve this equation, subtract 7 on both sides, and you get 12. And divide both sides by 4, and you get, just for some simplistic sake and to make it a little bit easier to follow, I'm not going to really put that minus 7, divide by 4, divide by 4. I'm just trusting from here to here. You can see that, well, the 7's gone, so it was subtracted, and 19 minus 7 is 12. You can follow this without me putting the, you know, here's what I did to both sides. Is that okay? All right. So we have 2 answers now. And now, the one equation we haven't used happens to have an x. So we can go here and say 2 times 3 minus y equals 2. Write your answer. Last night you wrote it in parentheses. Same thing here. Parentheses. We just have 3 answers. Write them alphabetically. 3 for x, 4 for y, 7. Not too bad. Note how you write your answers. It's always alphabetical, not the order that you solve them. Put x, you don't put 3, and then 7, and then 4. It's all in order, but the alphabetical order of the variables. Not too bad. Okay, any clarification needed? All right, let's go back and now you guys do 10. Write 10 on your own. And if you haven't get stuck, check some next to you real fast, or when you finish all the way, go ahead and plug them in and just do a check to see if they're right. Try that. Now the trick is, what happens when we get to these problems? We have x, y's, and z's, 3 variables, 3 equations, and they don't just cancel out like 9 and 10. You don't just have an even equation. So a little bit more involved. So let's take a look at a few examples. Watch. Oh yeah, reminder, this quiz tomorrow. For it again, just like last night, you will have some problems that have something like 4 equals 4, which is true, which means what? Infinite. Is that consistent, inconsistent, dependent, independent?
Consistent.
Yeah, consistent and independent. And of course, if you get something false, 4 is not equal to 2. If you get something false, that's no solution, which is inconsistent. Keep that in mind, those will pop up. So, if you're looking at, the nice thing again about all these will be very similar to what you just did last time. One molecular section. So, what are we actually doing? We have 3 variables, so it's kind of like we have 3 axes going at once. This is what a picture would look like. It's 3-dimensional. We have 3 axes, 3 variables. Right? We can't graph these on a 2-dimensional paper. That's why we're just going to solve them using elimination. There's no graphing part of it. But we can still just get one solution. We can still get infinitely many solutions and still get no solution. So that part has nothing. That part has nothing. Here's a good opportunity just to watch me go through the problem, understand it. For the first part, that's the new part. At some point, my first goal is to get 2 equations with 2 variables. I want to turn into a problem just like we did last time. Okay? That's my first goal. I'm going to be emphasizing how to write your work down just so it stays neat and easy to follow. That'll make a big difference in your work. So look at these and pretend, not pretend, but we're going to cancel out a variable. We're going to cancel out a variable. So in the same way we canceled out last night, what variable would you like to cancel out? You have a choice.
M.
M, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cancel out M on both of those. Then we're going to cancel out M on both of these. I'm just going to rewrite the first 2 equations. Again, just watch this to understand the process. We'll have plenty to work on a little bit later.
Bless you. Bless you.
And then we have, watch how I write it down. I'm going to line every variable up just to make it easier to follow. Now, how can I cancel out M? Multiply bottom equation by
-3.
negative, right? So this equation will become -3M.
Plus 3M.
Plus 3N minus 3P equals 3. Is that right? No, yeah. Common mistake is to forget that one side. Not quite -9, right? And put 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and then multiply this last. Good. And the first equation just stays the same. Nothing going on there. So I'll just recopy it down. You're going to do a lot of just, okay, now I have to copy this whole equation back down. Nothing changes. Like 4p, line everything up. Good. Now we have 0, no M. What do we get here?
M.
N. Just N. And here?
P.
P
Plus.
signs plus equals 6. Now we have to do the same process, but for the second equation. We have to cancel out M again, so we get another 2-variable equation only with N and P. So, here we go. Run them down. And do you want to multiply by? Negative 1, which one?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. Multiply this one by negative 1. Here we go. Negative n plus n minus b equals negative. And the bottom one stays the same. And plus 4n minus 5b equals 0. So once again, 0, let's cancel out. Here. And 6b equals negative. So we're off. That's the first step. Look what we have now, right here and right here. Two variables with two equations. From this point on, it's the same thing you did last time. I'm picking it up. That's the new part above. Take three variables with three equations with three variables, turn them into a problem that you already know how to solve. So let's go through and do that. Copy those back down. These two numbers add up and equal 6. These numbers, 5 times 1 minus 6 times another equals negative 3. How do you want to solve it? What variable do you want to cancel out? Any of you don't have to multiply this one. You can multiply it by negative 5, cancel out the n's, or positive 6 if you want to cancel out the p's, and both equally the same. Pick one, and it's the same thing you did last time. So negative 5n.
Can you just subtract p and then plug it in?
They do substitution if you wanted to, yeah. That's well. That would work. And we have r to 5n minus 6p equals negative. Cancels out. What do we get here? And negative 33. So p must equal positive 3. There's your first solution.
Oh.
Keep going, just like you did last night. What would you do if you got the first answer? You plug it into either one of these, your choice. So let's pick maybe the top one. We have n plus 3 equals 6. So n equals 3. Now we have our second. So you can see, right, all the stuff that we just did right here, that's just last night. That's the same thing from last night. Same exact thing. Two equations and two variables, get your two answers. So, how do we get our third answer? Take our two answers that we have, plug them into any one we want. Any of the three. Which one do you want to plug them into? Middle one, just because it's less multiplying and less. Okay. We can take that middle equation right here. Down. So plug it in. Yeah, n is 3, p is 3. Okay, so we have n minus 3 plus 3. What's 3? 3 is correct. Negative 3 and positive 3 is 0. So we have n equals 3. Oh, look, all the answers are all 3. And not that it matters so much on this problem, but alphabetically. There you have it. So this is kind of new, right? You have to plug it in. You gotta get exactly what we did last night. Get two answers, then take those and plug it into any of the original three. And of course, the beginning part is new, where you have to take the three equations, turn them into two equations with two variables. Now, is anything more difficult than what you've already done before? Go ahead and say no. No. Is it longer?
Yes.
Yes. So don't confuse the two, saying, it was so hard last night, I couldn't get it. Not so much. It takes longer. So allow yourself more time tonight to do this. It's going to take a little bit of time. And keep your work organized. Keep it neatly on your paper. Notice how I'm lining up every variable just to keep it neat. Every set of equal signs is always lined up. This will be so much easier for that when you have mistakes. Not if, but when you have them, you'll be more likely to catch them because things are just lined up neatly. I know it seems small and like, really, that's what's gonna make math easier? Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. So just consider that if you're getting really stuck and things are just kind of scattered, that might be the issue. All right, let's have you guys give it a go. Here we go. Give it a shot. Go to 11. Now, there's something a little peculiar about this. Essentially, we already have one equation that's given to us. Already has two variables. Remember our original goal. Goal step 1. Get two equations with two variables. Now, they already gave us half of that. They gave us one equation with two variables. So we will have a slightly different amount of work. Normally, we have to take the first two equations and make one equation with two variables, but that part's already done. So we really just need to take these two. How can we, what variable do we need to eliminate though? So that matches the one we already have.
Z.
Yeah. So this has x and y. We need another two variable equation with just x and y, which means here we need to eliminate two. So how do you want to do it?
-2.
Multiply this one by
-2.
negative. There we go. -6 minus 8y minus 4z equals 12. -6 plus 7 is x. -8 plus 3, 5. -5. We get to 0. And equals 17. So we have one equation that was given to us that has two variables, and we created another equation with the same two variables. Very important. And now we use these two to do a problem just like we've been doing y to 1. We write this down again. Remember, this is not more difficult. It is more time consuming, more meticulous. You have to be patient. Give yourself more time to finish this assignment. And notice how I'm lining up the variables on the equal signs. It's very deliberate. Very deliberate. Helps you find mistakes later by hacking. Right, so how do we want to eliminate here?
-5.
Top one, bottom one?
-5.
Bottom. 5x and then negative 5x below 6. Top equation, just knock it over. Equals 85. Top equation is false. Now, are there some that don't have to look like top and bottom? Sure, you gotta do whatever it takes on any problem. Get things to cancel the way. Question?
Yeah, why is it negative 5?
5 and negative 5? Here?
Or when you, like,
Why don't you choose negative 5 here?
Yeah.
Because this is positive 5. We're trying to get it to get equal 0. It needs to be negative 5.
Oh.
We're going to get 0 right So y equals negative. I do believe on these answers, let's just check back the book, they do come out to nice small integers. Oh, fraction. Not first fraction.
Bless you.
Of course, anything else? Just practice lining things up, keeping things in order. It's easy to follow that somebody else could use your work tomorrow. If they didn't get it, they can look at yours and say, oh, it's so neat, it makes sense, I can follow this. No problem. Anything else? Good. Next. Plug it back into either of the original two variable equations, just like we did before. Doesn't matter which. The bottom one will say minus negative 3, use parentheses. Plus 15. Remember, everything here and here, that's what you just did last time. Two equations, two variables, get you two answers. Now, take those two answers, x is 2, y is negative 3, plug it into any one you want. Now, really, if you plug it into here, we're going to get what z equals. Yeah, so we have to really pick one of these two, so we have to get z equals. So 3, 4, 2, 6. Second equation. Z equals 6. I just plug evaluate my x and y into that second equation right here. X into here, y into here. Solve for z. Minus 12 plus 2z. And we get what? Negative 6 plus 2z. Z equals 12. And z equals. Answer is 2, negative 3, 6. Alphabetical order. Alright, that will be your task for the evening. Do give yourself enough time, and there's a review quiz.